Hey, what's up, rehabs across the world? Trent here. It's actually taking in the sunset, protecting my peace in New York City. And you know, one thing that I know for a fact that a lot of people don't have these days is patience. And I like to think that patience is a part of faith, right? Believing the odds are beatable even when the odds say it's impossible. And it reminds me of, you know, having a gardener's mindset. Now I remember going to Little Rock, Arkansas to visit my grandpa, and he taught me a valuable lesson. Bless his soul, he's no longer alive. But he taught me a valuable lesson about patience and about having faith. Because sometimes we think faith is, you know, even though we know it's seeing the unseen, but a lot of us, we think faith is actually like seeing it, then believing it. But faith is believing it before you see it, right? And hoping that it comes to fruition or that harvest will take place. But I remember going to Little Rock, Arkansas when I was a little kid. And my grandfather, he had this garden. He grew up on a farm, so he was a gardener. I was far from it. But he had this garden, and every time we would go there, I would be like so intrigued of the process of planting a seed and watching that seed grow. Because I'm a firm believer in life now that every seed you plant will grow, whether it's positive or whether it's negative. And so we'll go there and we'll plant these seeds, different seeds, just different crops we wanted to plant. And I remember one specific time when I was down there and we planted seeds. I was probably like 7 years old. Literally, we planted the seeds, and 2 hours later, I went to my grandfather. I was like, "Grandfather, we must have did something wrong because, like, we planted the seed 2 hours ago. Nothing has happened." And my grandfather always said, "Trent, just be patient and trust the process." So, you know, at 7 years old, 6 years old, I think patience is 2 hours later. So I go back to him 2 hours after that and say, "Grandpa, listen, it's 2 hours, it's 4 hours now. We planted the seed, nothing has happened." He said, "Trent, just be patient and trust the process." So patient to me then tomorrow. So the next day I go to my grandpa and say, "Grandpa, look, we did something wrong. Like, nothing has happened. We planted this seed. I thought we did it right." He said, "Trent, just be patient and trust the process." So that whole process of me coming to him lasted till we left back to New Orleans. And I remember a few months later, he called and he asked to speak to me. He said, "Trent, guess what? That seed that we planted, it's time for the harvest. That crop grew." And he said, "In life, always have this mindset. Just be patient and trust the process." And so a lot of people look at my life now and they see me traveling the world, speaking all across the world, and they see Rehab Time, millions of people, and they think it was an overnight thing. It took a lot of long nights. It took me going to places where one person would show up, 10 people would show up, where nobody was watching my videos. But I knew, just like my grandfather was teaching me, if I did the right things, put in the work, if I had faith, if I believed the odds were beatable even when the odds say it's impossible, then that harvest will come. It's been a decade. It's 2019 now. And the seeds I planted back in 2009 are now showing up. My point in making this video is to ask you this question. Are you being patient? Are you trusting the process? We live in a social media era where I like to call it microwave era. You see so many people start something today and they expect the result tomorrow. They expect the result next week. They expect the result next month. They expect the result at the end of the year. And a lot of people quit because those results don't show up on their time. Anything that takes time to build is powerful. Great things take time. So remember this. As long as you're watering the seed by hard work, dedication, commitment, consistency, doing the things that you know you need to do, just know that growth is going to happen. And my definition of faith is simply this: believing something is growing even when you can't see growth taking place. Just like that seed that me and my grandfather planted. That gardener knows that something's going on beneath the surface, even if it doesn't show up till months later. Like I say at the end of every single video, it all starts with you. It's rehab time. Let's get it. Trust the process. Be patient. Have faith. Let's get it.